Welcome in the Schafhof, in the Center for Art from the District Council of Oberbayern. Herzlich willkommen im Schafhof zu unserer Eröffnung der Ausstellung Eastern Sugar Oberbayern. Und ich möchte gerne herzlich begrüßen unseren Herrn Bezirkstagspräsident, Herrn Mederer, die Künstlerin Ilona Németh, außerdem den Kurator der Ausstellung Crossing Borders, Alexis Dworsky, und unsere Partnerin im Künstleraustausch und heute Übersetzerin Sinke Roos von Roos Arte Agentur. Wir werden diese Eröffnung zum Teil auf Deutsch, aber zum großen Teil auf Englisch durchführen. Deswegen auch Übersetzungen dann vom Grußwort. Und ja, wir sind hier in der Ausstellung von Ilona Németh mit dem Titel Zuckerhutmanufaktur und Archiv. Welcome again. So I'm very happy that our president could be here today, president of the District Council of Upper Bavaria, and that he will welcome you and us all. I'm happy to introduce Ilona Németh, the artist from the exhibition here, Zuckerhutmanufaktur und Archiv, and Alexis Dworsky, who's the curator from the exhibition downstairs, Crossing Borders, and again, Sinke Roos from our artisan residency program, and she is helping out here with the translation, and she will tell the introduction text from the curator of this show. So, great that you are here. In this time, we are very unhappy that we couldn't welcome the hundred of people who could come here and try out and work. So the working process is stopping for a moment, but yeah, we opened the exhibition. And thank you that you are here with us.
Ja, Herr Berg, herzlichen Dank für die freundliche Einführung schon. Ja, meine Damen und Herren, die sich heute zugeschaltet sind, wo auch immer. Ich darf Sie natürlich auch herzlich begrüßen, willkommen heißen. Und heute darf ich Sie ja so richtig in Europa herzlich begrüßen, willkommen heißen. Und das tue ich mit großer Freude, nämlich im Herzen Europas. Oberbayern ist Herz Europas, so darf ich es bezeichnen und nennen. Allerdings meine ich damit auch, dass wir heute zwei Ausstellungen eröffnen können mit dem Thema Europa. Und die Aussage willkommen, geht das überhaupt im Augenblick? Großes Fragezeichen.
Today I warmly welcome Europe to the heart of Upper Bavaria. I am referring to two new exhibitions with European themes. But does it even make sense to phrase this as welcome?
Europa ist doch hier bei uns nicht erst jetzt angekommen. Wir am Europäischen Künstlerhaus Schafhof des Bezirks Oberbayern pflegen ja hier schon lange Zeit europäische Gedanken. Und wir sind hier geradezu prädestiniert, dass wir diesen europäischen Gedanken weiterempfehlen. Und wir sind als Bezirk Oberbayern ja in tatsächlichem Sinne Europa der Regionen.
Europe hasn't just arrived here, but has been firmly anchored in the heart of the district of Upper Bavaria for quite some time. We find ourselves here inside the European Center for Art Upper Bavaria. As the district of Upper Bavaria, we are part of a Europe of regions.
Ja, seitdem es hier in Freising das Künstlerhaus gibt, unterstützen wir natürlich den europäischen Gedanken. Und mit unserem Artists in Residence Programm fördern wir gerade Künstlerinnen und Künstler über Ländergrenzen hinweg und wollen damit den Austausch unterstützen und weiterentwickeln. Und gerade der künstlerische Austausch ist ja wichtig, und dass wir als Oberbayern hier die europäischen Nachbarländer mit einbeziehen, das ist gerade der Kern unseres Auftrags.
Thus, for as long as the Center for Art has been in existence, we have supported this European outlook. Our Artist in Residence program promotes to coming together of artists across national borders and support exchanges between Upper Bavarian and European artists.
Ja, dies wird natürlich bei uns seit langer Zeit schon mit großer Begeisterung, mit großem Erfolg gemacht. Neu ist aber der aktuelle Hintergrund, nämlich erstmals haben wir im Künstlerhaus durch die Europäische Kommission ein Projekt gefördert bekommen, das hier 6 Partnerinstitutionen hier über 2 Jahre hinweg gearbeitet haben, gemeinsam Projekte entwickelt haben, gemeinsam Ausstellungen gemacht haben, gemeinsam Workshops durchgeführt haben und damit auch gemeinsam Forschungsarbeiten gemacht haben. Und mit diesem EU-geförderten Projekt haben sich neben oberbayerische Partner auch Partner aus den Ländern Slowakei, Österreich, der Tschechischen Republik und Frankreich beteiligt.
We've been doing this very successfully for quite some time. But what's new is the background to the current exhibitions. For the first time, the Center for Art is involved in an international project funded by the European Commission. Over the next 2 years, 6 partner institutions will be organizing joint projects, exhibitions, workshops, and research work. Teaming up together for this EU-funded project are, in addition to Upper Bavaria, partners from Slovakia, Austria, Hungary, the Czech Republic, and France.
Aus dieser hocherfreulichen und engagierten Zusammenarbeit entstand eine zweiteilige Präsentation, die wir jetzt bei uns im Künstlerhaus zeigen können. Nämlich die Installation Eastern Sugar von Ilona Németh bietet ja im Tonnengewölbe hier im 1. Stock gerade den Einblick und die Funktion und Geschichte, wie es in einer ehemaligen Zuckerfabrik in der Slowakei ausschauen hat können.
The current result of this collaboration is the 2-part presentation being shown here at the Center for Art. The installation Eastern Sugar by Ilona Németh offers a glimpse to the function and history of a former Slovakian sugar factory in the barrel vault gallery on the 1st floor.
Die zweite Ausstellung, Crossing Borders, präsentiert in der Galerie im Erdgeschoss 3 künstlerische Positionen, die die Grenzen in Europa erforschen, die die Grenzen Europas auch hinterfragen und die die Grenzen überwinden. Grenzen überwinden, ist das heute mehr bedeutender, als damals bei der Planung eigentlich vorhersehbar war. Denn es geht heute nicht mehr nur um Grenzen von Staaten oder Grenzen von Sichtweisen oder auch Grenzen von Ideologien und von Kunstauffassungen. Mit der Pandemie sind eben neue Grenzen hinzugekommen. Und diese zu überwinden, das ist auch Auftrag dieser Ausstellung.
The exhibition Crossing Borders on the ground floor gallery presents 3 artistic positions that investigate questions and overcome European borders. Overcoming borders. This is a more ambiguous endeavor today than it seemed during the initial planning of this project. Because these days, it is not just about borders between states or borders between points of view, ideologies, or conception of art. The pandemic has given rise to new borders whose overcoming plays a role in the exhibitions.
Ja, ich meine, die hinzugekommenen Grenzen der Pandemie, das schafft neue Herausforderungen und das verändert auch die Zugänglichkeiten. Und gerade diese Vernissage aber ist auch hier angetan, die Gespräche mit den Kunstschaffenden zu führen, Angebote zu machen und auch ein Rahmenprogramm anzubieten. Aber Corona-bedingt etwas anders. Und damit wollen wir auch mit Online-Schaltungen gerade Sie zu Hause an den Schirmen oder wo Sie auch immer sind, hier mit einbinden. Und wir haben also im wahrsten Sinn des Wortes die grenzenlose Kunst damit erreicht.
I'm talking here about the border of accessibility. This opening celebration, as well as the discussions with the artists that follow, and the accompanying program offerings are to be experienced online. We therefore have a borderless art in the truest sense of the word.
Ja, und das tut gut, das macht Freude, dass wir jede Person teilhaben lassen können, allerdings mit einem Internetanschluss. Der ist notwendig, den braucht man, aber hier kann losgelöst von Aufenthaltsort, von Kontaktbeschränkungen und auch von anderen Abhängigkeiten teilgenommen werden. Und diese Teilhabe ist auch ein inklusiver Gedanke, den wir hier weiterentwickeln und weiter pflegen wollen.
It's good that anyone with an internet connection can take part, regardless of where you are, regardless of the potential restrictions on social gatherings, and regardless of when you want to take part in art.
Ich glaube, dass es gerade in schwierigen Zeiten wichtig ist, wichtiger denn je, dass Kunst und Kultur hier Menschen zusammenführt, Menschen zusammenbringt. Und ich glaube auch, dass Kunst Menschen Kraft gibt. Und Kunst ist dann sozusagen auch ein Lebensmittel. Kunst ist damit auch ein Kraftspender. Und in diesem Sinne freue ich mich auf die Kraft, die wir hier tanken können.
I think it is also important, especially in difficult times, since art and culture can give people support and strength. Art is a mean of life, sustenance, and a provider of strength. In this spirit, I'm looking forward to the opportunity to replenish ourselves with the strength.
Die inhaltlichen Ausführungen, auf denen Sie ja sicherlich gespannt und neugierig sind, zu den Ausstellungen zu Eastern Sugar und zu Crossing Borders, werden wir jetzt anschließend hören. In diesem Sinne wünsche ich Ihnen viel Kraft, Freude und Energie bei unserer Ausstellung. Herzlichen Dank für Ihre Aufmerksamkeit.
And next up, we will hear about the ideas behind both exhibitions, Eastern Sugar and Crossing Borders, which I'm also very much looking forward to. And I'm very happy and glad to see you and to have you here. And thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Mederer. Thank you, Sinke. Maybe you can now switch the places, because we will hear now a curatorial text, a short text from Nina Vrebanova. She is the curator of the Ilona Németh exhibition here. And unfortunately, she couldn't come here in person, so Sinke was so kind to read her text about her thoughts about the background of the exhibition.
Dear Mr. President, dear colleagues, dear guests, and especially dear Ilona Németh, allow me to warmly welcome you to the opening of the exhibition and briefly introduce you the Eastern Sugar Project. The Eastern Sugar exhibition and research project was originally developed around 2017 as a separate line in the oeuvre of Ilona Németh, in which she has critically reflected upon the impact of post-revolutionary economic and political decisions on the Slovak sugar industry. In 2018, the interest and critical reflection of the artist resulted in an extensive exhibition of the same name, which she presented in the representative premises of the Kunsthalle Bratislava, together with the guests invited to participate. At that time, the exhibition received an extraordinary international acclaim, a prestigious artistic award, and ultimately also a European grant that made it possible to continue and extend the research and to present its outcomes also internationally. The show in Schafhof, Germany, can be considered as a key moment of the more than 2-year project, when the author presents her work in full as an independent exhibition in the monumental premises of the gallery. This show is, to a large extent, a repetition and adaptation of the original exhibition, complemented by new works of art, as well as new layers of artistic research. The viewers could have already seen those within the concurrent Crossing Borders exhibition project, into which Németh intervened with a series of selected videos, documents, and videos essays. Her artistic focus is connected to the parallel exhibition through the motive of changing boundaries, geopolitical, economic, as well as mental, after the fall of the Iron Curtain. However, besides videos conveying informational and visual reports on the devastation of sugar industry in Central Europe and the fatal decline of this import sector under the pressure from the market rules imposed by powers, here the artist also presents 2 focal, participatory and interactive installations. The space on the upper floor of the gallery is dominated by the sugar loaf manufacture, which invite the visitors to experience the past which we have already lost, and make their own sugar souvenirs. The author conceived the manufactory as an adapted simulated work and production area, a so-called open workshop. The second installation is an interactive sliding archive created in the manner of an image depository. It contains impressive photo portraits of all sugar factories in Slovakia as absurd ruins of wild capitalism. The point of the exhibition unit and this line of Ilona Németh's art is an appealing report on our relationship to values and on the necessity to perceive and know our values so that we do not repeat the mistakes of the past. After all, this artwork as such has a nature of research, investigation, and recognition that can pave the way to critical reflection and reassessment.
Very much. Thank you, Sinke. Thank you, Nina Vrevanova. I hope you're in front of the computer as well. So I think we just continue with the text and with the introduction from for the other exhibition downstairs with Alexis Dworsky. Thank you for your work again, and thank you for this introduction.
So, for me, the really fascinating thing in Ilona Németh's project, Eastern Sugar, is that the research is about so many aspects. Of course, it's about sugar, but it's also about turbo-capitalism, about post-socialism. It is about the developments in Europe after the fall of the Iron Curtain. However, with the fall of the Iron Curtain, not only one border disappeared, also new borders have emerged. Now there is a border around Europe, and there are new borders within Europe. For most of us, these borders didn't exist in the last years. But during the present corona pandemic, they become real, they become visible again. So we might have forgotten that this is and was the usual condition for many people, for example, for refugees. The exhibition, Crossing Borders, shown in the gallery at the ground floor at Schafhof, deals with this border. It deals with the subversive, it deals with the artistic overcoming the crossing of these borders. Therefore, 3 artists, 3 artistic positions are shown: Mladen Miljanovic, Keith Bunting, and Wermke Leinkauf. Wermke Leinkauf is an artist duo from Berlin. They often use climbing as an artistic strategy. In the exhibition at the Schafhof, their work Überwindungsübungen, overcoming exercises, is presented, is shown. The starting point for this project were historical archive photos. Photos that show Eastern German soldiers trying to climb over the Berlin Wall. It was not about getting into the West. It was more like an exercise to make this border less easy to overcome. Wärmke-Leinkauf transfers these fake escapes into the present. They carry out the corresponding overcoming exercises along the former German border in Berlin. We could see this in the poster, very little, but of course we can also see it downstairs in a big installation work. He's Bunting, the second artist. He's known as an internet artist. Bunting, however, also has been practically investigating how borders in Europe can be crossed unofficially. In his project, Borderxing, written with a capital X, so we also might call it border Xing or border crossing. Border crossing in this project, he's going on hikes. He's going to explore secret routes in the mountains, in the woods. And his adventures he documents in the internet with maps, with advices how to hide from watchdogs, and with a botanical guide. A little booklet that links plants with borders. Eastern Sugar is an European project. And in this project, we already heard, there are several other art institutions involved. One project partner is Rotor, Zentrum für zeitgenössische Kunst Graz in Austria. And we told them about our plans about the exhibition project Crossing Borders. They were asking, do you know Mladel Miljanovic? Do you know his artwork, The Didactic Wall? Now we do. Mladel Miljanovic is an artist from Bosnia and Herzegovina. There he was trained as a soldier. And he told us that in his training as a soldier, he learned many things, like hiding in the woods, like climbing over obstacles. But he was asking himself all the time, could this knowledge, could this information be somehow transformed for something really useful, for something to help people? In his work, The Didactic Wall, this information, but also the information from old military books, was transformed into an installation for the art context, but also into a handbook for refugees. All these publications, they are available for the visitors in the exhibition. They are available for free to take away, but not really like a souvenir, more like the way of transport the idea of free movement. To be honest, I don't know if it's really the function of contemporary art to remove border barriers, but I'm quite sure that art can help to remove the barriers and the borders in our heads, in our minds. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so I think it's interesting, and you can get a lot of things if you can visit the exhibitions again, because you have the participating installation here. So you see these workstations are really working, so you should come here. You can come here. You can use the syrup. You can have the form from the cubes. You have sugar to make your own sugar loaves, and you can take part of them. You can take home as well. So you can participate, and you can take away these products from the exhibition downstairs. So in Germany, somebody told me it sounds very good. It's eine Mitmach- und Mitnehmen-Ausstellung. So, and of course, it's great to feel the space and to see how perfectly the installation of Ilona fits into our space, like it would have been built for that. And what Mr. Mederer thought that it is a good chance now, via live stream, via video, to get here and to get impressions from here already online and via internet. Another good step in our program is that even if people could come, and we would love that people could come, and we will make artist talks actually in June on the spot, and people could come, but we always try now also to keep the online broadcasting, that really much more people and people who couldn't come in the sense of inclusion could take part. So this is something we want to keep, but we want to get back. We would like to get back our real life as well. So we will see. Now I would invite Ilona, because it's always the good chance to have the artist on the spot, to have the artist in his artwork to talk about. And this is a very special reason, because for this installation and for these works and for these two exhibitions, we worked for a long time. And I would like to thank all our partners, what we talked about already. You find it on our webpage and so on. And that we did this together, and we could build up a great series of exhibitions. Actually, there's a very big book with a lot of essays. Those goes in different directions on a very deeply from specialists from Europe and from United States. So you can get it here, but you find it on the website of Eastern Sugar as well. And Ilona, how you heard from the text from Nina, she was like the initiation of the whole project of the international cooperation. Your work, what you did during years of research, and you showed first time in the Kunsthalle in Bratislava, and project around that the whole international cooperation was built up. So please, maybe you could tell us a bit from the beginning. So how did you get to the theme, and how did it get larger, and how did it become a project? How did you invite people, and what did it mean for you?
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank you for welcoming me, and it's a really pleasure for me to have my exhibition in this extraordinary space. It was 2 years ago when we were talking first time about the invitation, when the international project was not on. It was the beginning of the whole international part of the Eastern Sugar project, and you convinced me that this place will be the best place for the manufacture, and I agree with you. It's really. So thank you one more time. The whole exhibition series started as all the art projects in our studios as a small project with some drawings. But the background was that earlier I was always, my practice was some kind of engaged art practice. And some years from the 2010, I was dealing with nationalism as a hot issue in Middle Europe, the growing nationalism. And we made with the colleagues a series of exhibitions with the title Private Nationalism, which was initiated by Hungarian artist Rita Varga from Hungary. And it was 6 years of my life, and I thought that maybe that was the longest project that I ever did. But after that, I tried to think more deeply about the reasons of the populism, of the nationalism, especially growing in that time in our area, but we can now talk about the whole Europe, that we have this issue is really hot everywhere. So I tried to find the economic reasons. And the economic reasons I can show through the project where I was personally engaged, because I grew up in the small town on the south part of Slovakia, Dunajská Streda, where Eastern Sugar Factory, which is in my archive in the middle now. I grew up 500 meters from this sugar factory. So it was very logical that I had in my mind that there is an empty gap now. And it is not typical, really a typical artistic issue, but I was thinking about that for years when I started after this national issue to work with the sugar industry. I think that at that time I didn't know that the sugar industry could be so good case study for the whole story which I was interested. And the project grows really yearly with other partners, with cooperation partners, and now with 6 international partners, and a lot of artists who are involved on the different exhibitions.
Yes, so for me, how you told, so I like the artwork itself already, and I thought it's a very good match. Actually, this is also a result of the art exchange program of the District Council of Bavaria with Oberbayern, because when we met, I made a research tour in Slovakia about partners for our artist exchange program. So it's really something with a very, very great result to get a lot of things connected. And I think that is very important, and this is one of the base of our artist exchange program as well, to get people connected in Europe, in whole Europe, and to support people, because this is what the Oberbayern is standing for, so the District Council from Upper Bavaria. And so when I saw the project, and then later on we spoke about to take part in this bigger international cooperation, I was also thinking, what does it mean beside your project, because your project is very has a lot of different aspects, and we spoke about that on each destination we maybe could give something more to the whole project. And so I thought, for me and for a lot of people, this kind of change during the system change, during the Mauerfall, fall of the Iron Curtain, meant that this main border were disappearing. But it was not that all borders disappeared, so there were new borders, changing borders, and of course, like Alexis Dworsky told, there are always borders in mind, and now there are borders again in the pandemic because of the pandemic. And so I think it's interesting to do a project around borders. And then with Alexis, we were talking and we said, okay, borders, but for us it's important to cross borders as well. So we came to this project. And maybe you can give us just some idea, because you know the best what the other partners did or will do with all the restrictions we have because of the pandemic situation, but still life and art must go on. So there are ongoing projects now. So maybe you could give some other aspects from the whole.
Yes. From the beginning, it was. I thought that it is not. It could be, but for me, it was less interesting to just to make some kind of roadshow that on the all sides is the same exhibition installed. I'm always interested in the context-specific art. So it means that I was really curious about the opening of the other side, so-called other side from Western Europe, how the artists from the countries from where investors came into Middle Europe, also in our country, how they see the situation. So that's why I chose the partners from France. It is the University of Arts, the ENSA, and it was a very nice show that was made by Ferenc Gróf, and the focus was the post-colonialism, especially seen from the perspective of the global sugar story. And then we continued in Prague. In Prague, the topic was more the future. What kind of models could we imagine in the society of care, in the society of feminism, in the society which should be more balanced and more based on the specific needs for everybody. So that was the issue in Prague. Then we continued here, where we already thought that we put the borders and the crossing the borders. And then we will continue in Bratislava, in Kunst again. There are our curators from London, Maya and Ruben Fox, and they will work with 12 international artists about possible agrarianism in the future. What we learned from the past agrarianism and the agriculture, and how can we improve the new ways of thinking about the soil, about the vegetables, about the all living existences on the world. So this is the next exhibition. The last exhibition will be in Rotor, as it already was told, with Anton Lederer and Margareta Makovec. And there, in the focus is the history. Their research is based on the history of the Hungarian-Austrian monarchy and the sugar industry, which started really in the 19th century all over Europe. So they are the next exhibitions and the past exhibitions. And I take my project, or also the title of the project, as an inspiration. Also in the book, we just write some questions, and I think all the partners and also the experts who wrote to our book, they are inspired by the question, but they have to find their own answers to the question. And this is the main point of the project.
Yeah, and I'm very happy that also in between the partners with each other, so in the framework of the project, we also have some cooperations. For example, one artist, a German artist who will exhibit in Graz, she had a residency here to make a research in the southern German sugar industry, because it is very strong, and it was strong in the past as well. So that's why these are all these connections, but I think it's very important also to develop it to the future. I think that was a very nice theme to say that we are working and thinking on the future as well. And we will also have some workshops, hopefully with children, with young people, because this is part of the program, kind of educational program for the future. And so this is also done in connection with the Hungarian partner, T2Doc. They have a kind of developed workshop and museum pedagogical program. So this is all now we have to be very spontaneous. So we hope it will happen. Yeah, so we will see the same like the artist talks that I spoke about, and we also will have one of the authors of the book in a presentation in an artist talk here in June. Yeah, so thank you very much for your attention. Thank you for my staff, my crew, who helped with the setup of the exhibition and now is doing behind the cameras, organizing this live stream. I would thank Julian Kistler, Lucia Günther, Christoph Galle, Martin Stühler, and there's Robert Keil as well. He's not here in the moment, but he was very, very busy during the last days to fix all the details. Yeah, so thank you very much. I also would like to thank our Cafe Botanica that is not open neither in the moment, but they prepared something for us here and for you for the next time. You can come here in the weekend. They have always a to-go menu with very delicious food and drinks. But yeah, so you can't stay here in the moment, but you will. We are here and we are very proud that we have these two great exhibitions for the next 2.5 months here. Thank you very much for Ilona. Thank you very much for everybody. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Yeah, see you next time. Thank you for your attention. Bye-bye.